Your Excellency, the Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, Your Excellency Peter Roberts, and representatives from the Australian High Commission, Your Excellency, the Japanese, or the Ambassador to Japan, may we congratulate you on the successful accession of your first woman Prime Minister to the position of leadership as Prime Minister of Japan. Now I'll have to wait and not know whether I will go to Japan on the invitation of the Japanese government, the previous government, whether I can go to Japan on during her reign as Prime Minister. But I'll get confirmation from you, Your Excellency. Senior government officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. From the introduction, you will have heard that I had no time in the public service of Fiji, or the civil service of Fiji. I spent 1 week at the government training center, which was at what became known as Cruikshank Park. It was called Cruikshank Park because the old government training center was on that park. And Bill Cruikshank was a long-time chairman of the Public Service Commission. So they named the park after him, and now we have the Super Bowl house built at what used to be Cruikshank Park. We are very glad to see the development here. This used to be a race course for jockeys or caretakers of the pony club that was right next to the stadium now, which used to be called Buckhurst Park. So if you want to know how old I am, well, if you remember those things, I'm not so old. But if you don't remember those, I'm that old. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we sit today and pay our respect to their chiefs, past, present, and emerging, and acknowledge their role in caring for the Vanua of Suva, and Turanga Roti Suva, and Wasimbau, which is now occupied by our president. A very good morning to you all. The launch of the Australian-Fiji Governance Partnership, AFGP, is a significant milestone in the enduring relationship between Australia and Fiji. It reflects our shared vision of cooperation and partnership, a partnership that is a strategic initiative that has been developed for the next 4 years, valued at 25 million Australian dollars. It is not simply a program, it is a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to strengthening governance, advancing economic reform, and promoting democratic values. This new phase of cooperation builds on the strong foundations laid by the Fiji-Australia Institutional Partnerships Program, IPP, which has demonstrated the power of bilateral collaboration through policy dialogues, technical support, and targeted investment. The partnership will be delivered through its 3 integrated pillars: civil service reform, economic governance, and the promotion of democratic norms and values. This will provide support in the implementation of economic and civil service reform, which aligns well with Fiji's National Development Plan. I mentioned the Government Training Center and the executive cadet scheme they had then. Those coming out of Form 6 in schools went straight there for their induction training. While there, the university entrance results would come out. And some would go on to university or the upper sixth form in Sugar Grammar School. The rest of us, if we failed, would wait and work in the civil service and go up through the ranks. In my case, I was recalled to go back to school. We had prefecture that last year, but I was already in the army, having my kit prepared, and I was on my way to the barracks when I noticed the principal's car parked outside the adjutant's office. The adjutant came out and called out, "Sitiveni, sir, come up here for a while." I went up and I saw the principal in his office. And the adjutant, Captain Manueli then, said, "Mr. Walker has come back. Has come to ask you to come back to school." I thought about it for a while, looked at Mr. Walker, and he was saying, "Yes, come back." I said, "Sir," to Manueli, "Sir, I'll go back, provided I can come straight back into the army." I said, "Yes, go back for a year, and then you can come back and do your basic military training." So I went back, and never went back into civil service, and here I am. And here I am with you, and the governor of Fiji, and the governor of Australia, shaping a future where governance is not only effective, but also responsive to the needs of our people. This is the essence of the Bubale Partnership. And it's through such cooperation that we will continue to build a stronger Fiji. Furthermore, this partnership aims at enhancing cooperation between Australian and Fijian institutions in civil service, elections, taxation, statistics, and parliamentary support. Now, I'm glad to note that there are representatives from those organizations here this morning. The launch of the Fiji Learning Institute for Public Service, FLIPS, and I welcome my friend Yogesh, who with me developed the idea of establishing this when we were on Denarau for a civil service conference. The launch of this institute marks a key milestone in our reform agenda. It is rooted in our national vision for excellence in governance and service delivery. This has been made possible through strong collaboration between the Ministry of the Civil Service, the Public Service Commission, the Ministry of Finance, and our partners, particularly Australia. We acknowledge the distinguished gentlemen who are here representing those entities that I have mentioned. Together we are modernizing government systems, strengthening performance management, and digitizing core functions such as human resource and payroll. These reforms are transformational in the way our civil service delivers its services to our people. Our civil service will be more efficient, more responsive, and more aligned with the needs of our citizens. But I just want to encourage you, no matter how efficient we think we are doing, or how efficiently we think we're doing, we will always be criticized. Persevere nonetheless, okay? The coalition government remains firmly committed to a public service that delivers while maintaining ethical standards and driven by results. Reform is not only about changing systems, but also about changing a way of thinking, the way an approach is made to an issue, fostering a spirit of excellence, integrity, and service. And it's through partnership like this one that we continue to build stronger institutions, democratic values, and empower our people to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Now, I challenge us all to move together, united in purpose, and guided by the spirit of cooperation that defines our journey. Pinawalew.
Nisambula Vinaka, good morning, Honourable Prime Minister, Public Service Commissioner, Permanent Secretaries, my diplomatic colleagues, the Ambassador for Japan and the resident representative of UNDP who works closely with us on governance, colleagues and friends. Nisambula Vinaka, good morning. I'd like to first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're gathered, as we do in Australia and as you do in Fiji. And I'm very pleased to be here at Flips. I've been hearing all about your new gym, and everybody looks healthy and fit and strong, so it's obviously had an impact already. But today we're here to talk about governance, and when I say governance, it doesn't naturally sound very exciting. But I've been a public servant for over 25 years, and many of you will have been public servants for longer than that. And I've served under a range of governments of different political persuasions, of different ideas. But one common factor across all the governments I've worked for is, irrespective of the ideas, is when you have the systems right, when you have the processes right, when you have the institutions right, the decision-making process is better and implementation is better. And so that's why we are excited about governance, and we are excited about being here today. And I think also for Fiji and Australia, we have similar systems. We have similar backgrounds to how our democratic institutions were formed. And we face some similar challenges. So we are, of course, natural partners. So I'm very happy to be here today to renew our commitment to strengthening governance. We've been doing this work already for almost a decade through the Fiji-Australia Institutional Partnerships Program, or the IPP, and we should acknowledge the progress we've all made together. In particular, our parliaments have grown closer. The Victorian Parliament in Australia has a wonderful twinning partnership with the Fiji Parliament, and they've worked together along with the UNDP to enhance legislative processes and citizen engagement. Our work in public financial management has helped improve fiscal transparency and accountability. Partnerships through the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection have helped strengthen internal audit systems, budget processes and financial reporting. And in taxation, everybody's favourite, I don't know why we're helping taxation agencies. No, it's very important. In taxation, our partnership with the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service and the Australian Taxation Office has meant we've had more effective revenue collection and policy development. And we've used a flexible funding mechanism to respond quickly to emerging priorities in civil service reform, as well as digitising processes and systems with the innovative approach of our Technology and Governance Unit, or the TAG team. I think we'll be seeing some examples of their work later, when the TAG team has been working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in digitising the submission process for proposals under the Vivale partnership. I think what's made the program so effective is not just there's technical support and work, but there's trust between partners. And Fijian institutions are setting the agenda, setting the priorities and leading implementation. And that's our vision for how Australia and Fiji should work together. So I'm equally proud today to launch the next phase of our work to support the governance section of the Australia-Fiji Governance Partnership. And it's great that we're meeting here in the Vivale Talanoa building. It's redevelopment funded through the IPP and a symbol of Australia and Fiji working together. Over the next 4 years, Australia will invest 25 million Australian dollars to support Fiji achieve its national development priorities of more effective, inclusive and accountable governance, and to advance economic and institutional reform. We'll build on the strong foundation laid by the IPP and work on 3 pillars: civil service reform, economic governance and democratic norms and values. The governance partnership will also build on long-standing partnerships with the Ministry of Civil Service, the Public Service Commission and the Ministry of finance, and open new spaces for collaboration with civil society and public sector leaders. The governance program will also continue to support the twinning arrangements between Fijian and Australian institutions in areas such as election, taxation, statistics and parliamentary cooperation. And I think this is a very special part of our cooperation. The Australian Bureau of Statistics working with their Fijian counterparts, Fijian Parliament working with Victorian Parliament, the taxation cooperation. These are agencies working together, sharing experiences, and to me, that's really the vision or the sweet spot for Fiji-Australia cooperation. Not just doing things with each other, but doing things together and sharing experiences and learning from each other. And so I think that's a great opportunity of greater interaction and greater integration. So I'm delighted to be here this morning with so many friends and partners to commemorate the milestone of the extended governance program. It's a testament to the Fiji-Australia Vivale partnership, and I can assure you that Australia stands with Fiji to support its achieving its priorities and ambition. Vinaka Vakalevu.